Good morning everybody, welcome to So Darn Twisted. I'm Becca. Thank you for joining me for another little tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about using embossed fabric to make little embellishments and different types of book plaques. You may, if you've followed the channel, you may remember the book plaques that I showed previously, and this is just a different method of making those. And there's different types. So this one was made with just a cluster from my snippet roll that I already had, so that's going to make a nice little embellishment. This one I will do like I've done here and put an eyelet in the top, and I may actually do a bottom one on this as well to hang a dangle from, which I think would look quite nice. And again, this one was just using a snippet roll piece as well to make that. Now, if you haven't watched my fabric embossing tutorial, I'll link to it in the description. Go and have a watch of that one first, because I'm not going to repeat that process for this video when there's already a video up relatively recently. So yeah, go and have a little look at that, follow the instructions to get your embossed fabric, and then come back to me and then you can carry on with this part. Okay, so let's deal with what you're going to need. So first and foremost, you're going to need obviously your embossed fabrics in whatever. Obviously this will work across any style, any theme, any colour, you know, it's all applicable to what you have. It doesn't have to be in this same style, obviously. So you're going to need some of that in your design of choice. Some lace trim that goes with your fabric. You're going to want some eyelets, some ink, an eyelet fixing tool. For this size, the size of the eyelets that I've got, I can only use this great big one to actually do the eyelets. It's ridiculous. You'll want some scissors for trimming corners and the like, and then obviously some bulb pins, charms, you know, that kind of thing that you're going to want to add to your embellishment. So nice, simple basics, as I do like to keep things quite basic, as you know. If you don't have an embossing machine, you can still make embossed fabric by slightly wetting your backing paper, and then going over your embossing folder with like a rolling pin or something like that. I've seen people have quite good degrees of success with that method without a machine, just having the embossing folders. So anyway, that's your materials. So nice and easy, let's get going. So first of all, obviously you're going to choose which of your embossed fabric pieces you'd like to use. Now you can completely freehand cut these to size, or you can use your cutting mat guide and just use a pencil to draw on the backing paper to give you your line to cut. So obviously that's up to you. If you want them to be a bit random, that's absolutely fine. You can leave them a bit random. You can eyeball cut it, you know, to make sure that you're getting it how you want it. It's completely up to you. And I don't know why I thought, yeah, you know what, I'll do mine with just scissors. Yes, because that always works out so well for me, doesn't it? Okay, but that's roughly there. So then I'm going to take some scissors and just trim round those corner edges, just because I think it looks nicer on these than having a squared edge. And my craft punches don't like trying to get through fabric apparently, so that kind of ruled that one out. I've got a little bit of a raw edge there still. Let's just knock that off. Yeah, that's, you know, it's personal preference. Personal? Okay, Becca. My good English there. So yeah, I just prefer it to have them slightly rounded, but that is entirely up to you and not a necessary step. Then we're going to grab some ink. I'm going to get it all over my fingers. I'm going to drop it. You know the drill by now. Now, I don't go crazy. I'm just going to give the edges that little bit of aging. Again, this will depend on what theme you're making as to whether or not you want to colour the edges, or whether you just want to leave them, you know, just all one colour. And either is absolutely fine. you can have whatever you want, my loves. Right, so we've got that down. Let's knock that out the way then. So now I've just given that, as you can see, just a tiny little tickle. It's nothing, you know, nothing overwhelming. So then we're just going to grab some lace and our glue. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to measure how much lace we need roughly on there. This one is quite an elastic lace, which is a bit of a nightmare, so you have to kind of make sure that you're not pulling it as you measure. Okay, and then we're going to just take a little bit of glue. Get it as close to the edge as you can, because it will help to stop the fabric fraying if you just get a little. What I tend to do is just kind of get my finger, get a little bit of glue, and then just kind of dab it along that raw edge. So it's not going onto the front, but it is just catching the edge of the fabric for you. And then we're going to pop that in place. And what I like to do then is turn it over and just eyeball it to make sure that it's kind of in the right position that I want it to be in. Fabulous. So now you're just going to repeat that all the way around. All right, so that's the lace on all 4 of the sides. Now, again, I think it looks better if you just kind of round off the corners of the lace, but it will depend on the lace you're using, and it will depend on whether or not you want to cut the corners off. Again, completely optional. But for me, that just kind of finishes it off that little bit, you know, gives it that little bit of polish. So now we can decorate it. So I've gathered together a few bits and pieces to decorate it with. But obviously, as I say, this purely comes down to, you know, whatever you guys want to decorate yours with. But I really liked the idea of being able to use some of these bronze corners. And I couldn't have actually measured this, well, not measured this as the case may be, any better had I tried. I mean, look at that. It looks like it was made for the job. So obviously, again, this is just what I'm using. You know, you'll decorate yours however, based on what you have, or you're gonna suddenly decide to hit Temu and AliExpress for some of these to do yours with. But then you've got to wait patiently for them to arrive, you know. So whichever one you're making now, just make it with what you've got, and then you can just make another one if you wanted to get some of these. If anyone needs, I will put in the description what these are and where I got them. I think these ones were from AliExpress, not Temu, because I've had them since before Temu started delivering in the UK. That was only very recent. Okay, so let's pop that down. And then I thought maybe a nice bow could go in the middle like that. Also pulled out a bit of this like really soft tulle fabric. Oh, actually, I wonder if I bunch all that up. Oh, that looks nice. That looks nice. I don't know if you guys the problem was I liked it the way I'd bunched it up just to demonstrate it. Now I've got to try to bunch it up in a way that I actually like how it sits. Isn't that just always the way though? It's like, oh, that works, and then you try to recreate it and you go, oh no, that looks rubbish, I don't like that. There, that's perfect. It's actually a lot more delicate than it looks on camera. I will actually show you a close-up in better light in just a minute. But let's just get a good blob of glue on that so that it goes all the way through the mesh fabric, because you want it to come all the way in to hold that down. I have trails of glue stuck all over my hands there. And then there should be enough to then get this little bow and pop that on top, give it a nice push down. Oh, no, not quite dry yet, are we? A bit too much glue for that to be dry. Okay, and I've just seen these little, I pulled these little beads out as well, these little heart pearl beads. And I think one of those would look spectacular in the middle of that bow. I'm just going to use my tweezers to get that on though. There we go. And then, so the glue doesn't ride up and stick to my fingers, because my fingers are absolutely caked in glue as it is. And there we go. So let's just zoom in. As you can see, that's it's a lot more delicate around the edges. When it's down there, it just looks like this really solid black blob, but it's not. So there you go. That's one of the plaques made, basically. If you're then going to make one with the eyelets in, let's grab a piece of, let's have this one. Oh, that's a nice idea actually. So for this one, might as well just trim that excess bit straight off. We don't need that ever at all. So we'll just get that down. And then if we take this in the strip that I embossed it in, because this was just one of the strip embossing folders. So if we take that, tidy up that edge a little bit because it's a little bit squiffy. That's it. And then we'll just take about half of that. Yeah, that looks like a good size. Right, so now we're going to get some eyelets. We're going to use the big boy. And we're going to take that back to, obviously it depends on the eyelets that you have, but my eyelets are on that one there. So let's have that at the top and centered. So that should be about right, I believe. We'll soon find out, won't we? Oh, it's a little bit high. Hold on, it needs to come down a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Okay. Now, when you're doing it with the fabric, quite often it will just kind of push the bit that you've punched round to the back. So just take some scissors and snip it away, and then you're good to go. So that's that. We'll pop the eyelet in there. Get one of the backing on. Set that to this. I've hardly used this at all, so in a way I'm kind of just getting used to using it myself. So don't ask me for tips and tricks on how to use it. Right, so now you've got that in place, then I would put the lace, because you don't want to try and cut through the lace as well. Do not recommend that. I'm just going to use the same lace because it's the one I have here. I did have a black and gold snippet roll, but I can't find it anywhere. So I want to round the corners of that one, don't I? So I need to find where I've put that or make a new one. But I'm really annoyed because I used some absolutely gorgeous lace trim to make that one, like bits I had left over, and I'll be so sad if I've lost it all. It's hard to find really nice black lace a lot of the time. That's just a little bit wide on that edge, isn't it? So let's just bring that back in line a wee bit. That's better. The design was a little bit too far that way. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. So now I'll do that bit. And yeah, as you can see, these are really, really quick and easy to do. They don't take, a lot of messing around. I just seem to be backwards and forwards and messing around, but yeah, you can. I knocked out a whole batch of these in about an hour last night, so they're not tricky. So let's get rid of that now. Get the lace, get the glue, and obviously you're just repeating the same process as you did before on the plaque one. Oh, I probably should have just done one piece at a time there, but never mind that now. Let's get that on there. Trim that off. It's fine. Needs a little bit on the actual lace though to hold the next section in place. There we go. See, you'll just razz through this. Nice and simple. But these make such effective embellishments, You know, I mean, these will make really great things to go on the covers of your journals. I say as like, you know, a kind of book plaque, or on the front of sort of large standalone folios, you know, anything like that, they'll be absolutely superb for. And the smaller ones like these, you know, you can use them as dangles off the edge of pages, or, you know, you could hang it off if you use a spine dangle ring. You know, you could hang it off of one of those as well. That would look really effective. So let's have a little look, see what we've got there. So that's looking superb now. Let's get a bulb pin. Went for one, got 4. Typical. Okay, and we're just gonna pop that up there. Actually, what I will do with that one is I will hang a little charm off of that one as well. So I'm going to turn that round actually, because that won't go through that way. Don't you hate it when that happens? It goes in, no problem. Try and get it back out again. No, doesn't want to. Okay, so let's hang that on there. Give that a little push. That's looking really cute. And I'd probably just put another little bow, you know, down there. You don't have to go crazy. Simple works really, really nicely. You know, it's a bit more elegant, I suppose, than, you know, if you make something really overly fussy. Sometimes the beauty of what it is can just be lost. But there you go. That one took, you know, a couple of minutes, really. And it's done. So a little zoomy look. And as I say, you could hang that. I think actually I've got, oh, excuse me, I'm just breaking things. I have up here one of my journals that I just do for tutorials, but you could absolutely hang this off of a, you know, a spine, and that would look really, really nice. Or as I say, off the edge of, you know, your journal page, sticking out the side. You could stick it on a greeting card, you know, same as that really. So yeah, that's another quick and easy brain squidge that I had last night of a way to use up some of my embossed fabric, which again, the tutorial is linked in the description, so you can just go and help yourself to that, watch it at your leisure. But I hope that that's something that you're going to enjoy making, guys. And as always, I'd absolutely love it if you would, you know, share it on social media, preferably with a link back to the video. That's always really appreciated. And a lot of people have been posting things recently they've made of mine. The flappy fold out mini folio has been ridiculously popular, so thank you for that to everybody who came and supported that video. Really appreciate it. And I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing everybody posting their makes in the groups and on TikTok and sort of tagging me in that, you know, tagging the tutorial. It's wonderful. You guys have been coming up with the most amazing things. If you haven't already seen, I have a giveaway update in a video. That's going to be at the 19th, this coming Saturday, 9 PM GMT. Full details are in the video, so go and give that a watch if you want to take part in my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. In the meantime, if you haven't already subscribed and you like what I do, please do consider subscribing. But more importantly, even if you don't want to subscribe, a thumbs up and a comment would be fabulous, because it helps me and it helps other people get my videos show up in their feeds as well. So there you go, guys. Enjoy, happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next one.